That takes to be what love takes. It took a lot of hardship to learn how not to break down and stop, baby. No matter what I see in the past, I won't let it impact how we grow now, baby. You can't let it take away, drink away, can go to waste, I say it's dirty, taking place, won't contemplate, it comes to ways that I say. I'm breaking out and living for you. I know you got me falling from the ceiling for you. I know I promised that there was no limit to you. And I'm catching feelings, baby. You can be free, you can be free. You can be
Hello, stranger. It's been a minute since we last kids. By the way, just got in town, and I won't let you in this fly. Long and sky. Who am I by? Usually I don't do this often, but this recruiting isn't an option. You want you for pain and London. Baby, I wonder, would you trust on me? I got the plug, I made it call. Tell me like fire, tell me like fire. Don't hesitate, no motion. Just let you with us. Well, come to worship. Just let you with us. Well, come to worship.
Fill me up till my cup's overflowing. I'm too anxious to hear silence. It's so quiet, but what are you? Take time you was perfect. Now you are safe. I need to.
Got dope like Pablo. Pablo cut dope like Pablo. Shot tree with a Draco. On the knock at the Diego. They say I still a Diego. We'll be in right here low. You don't know what's fake. Take out my key. Fly high like a solo. My Got dope like Pablo. Pablo cut dope like Pablo. Shot tree with the Draco. Draco running off at Diego. They say I'm still a wiggle. We'll be in rapping kilo. Stuff knows what to take. Cocaine, cold. More money, make more right. Going to the bank while I'm making road bank. Fight like range, giving niggas nose right. Just give it to a new. That getting cat, can't chip it. Fool with a bitch, where he at? Where dripping? Take all wet. First, trap thing, even in the nest. Yeah, 5 days sit like milk. Running with the jack, got slugged up. Hands nigga, you drop this figure up. Nigga, be ready for this, tell me y'all. 100 bricks on the ropes, a couple bros. Flesh from my house, her in the Vinny couch. I ain't really about I can pop it in the phone, roll powder. Go to see you, 150 kilo on the saddle. Get a nigga, I'm a terror, that's that apple. Chop it right down like an apple. Match with the eggs, with the horses in the counter. Narco, got dope like Pablo. Pablo cut dope like Pablo. Shot tree with the Draco. Draco running off at Diego. They say I'm still a wiggle. We'll be in rapping kilo. Stuff knows what to take.
Damn, this shit too cold, bro. What you doing?
It's your boy. You've been Israel, the people's champ. Shalom. Shalom, Israel. How y'all doing? It's your boy. I'm back at it. I'm back at it. Happy Tuesday, everybody. May 24th, 2022. We gonna get in it, y'all. We gonna get it going today. This is gonna be a topic I think needs to occur. A conversation I think needs to happen more in our community, in today's world. I think this is a conversation that needs to be had, and I see it as I'm uniquely qualified to have this conversation with you. This is the expertise that I actually have. Over 21 years worth of expertise in on this particular topic. So we're gonna get going. Tonight's conversation will be protect yourself at all times. And as usual, if you don't want to be here, don't be here. It's real simple. Plenty of places to be out here in these YouTube streets. Plenty of places to be. Move around. You don't have to be here. Not at all. Hope my audio is good. Still working on that. Let's see if we could test that theory real quick. But I hope everybody is wonderful, man. I hope everybody is doing well. That's my hope for everybody. Let's see if we get some sound. Get a little feedback. I hope for everybody. Audio's good. There we go. There we go. So, protect yourself at all times. Let me get my notes pulled up. And I originally, when I started doing my notes for this topic, quite a little while ago, I originally had the thought that I was going to primarily be speaking to men. And as I thought about it, ladies, you need to pay attention to this as well. This is, I believe everybody needs to protect themselves at all times. This is episode 52422. We are broadcasting live on YouTube, on Van Johnson Facebook page, and on V Speaks Facebook page simultaneously. So welcome. No matter where you're watching me, I appreciate you. Definitely like, subscribe, share, follow, hit the bell. If you definitely go over to YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any of this content coming in the future. Donate. I don't care if it's $1. Send me $1. Cash App's in the description. Help a brother out. So, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, you must implement measures to protect your own well-being, particularly where you are most comfortable. That's at home and in your car. That's where your guard is down. You're relaxed. You're at home. You think you're safe. However, if recent events have proved otherwise, you're not safe at home anymore. Eating a bowl of ice cream. Police can kick in your door and shoot you. That loved one that you thought you trusted can flip out on you. Okay. And due to the low cost, everyone, and I mean everyone, men and women, should have security cameras in your place of residence and or vehicle. So, in the description, I need a haircut, y'all. I haven't gotten to the barbershop this month, but I'm gonna correct that soon. I know some of y'all like my hair at this length. I don't. There was a time when I would grow, y'all know I would grow my hair out, cornrows, all that. I'm too grown for all of that. I don't deal with it no more. So this hair is getting cut off. I've been picking at my son. I've been picking at Bam about his fro or whatever he's calling that thing he growing. But Dad needs to tighten his up too. So yeah, I'll get to the barbershop next week. So why am I qualified? I began selling security cameras, home security cameras, 21 years ago. I was a store manager with Radio Shack. Even prior to that, I was always into home automation. I've always been a techie. But I officially began selling and installing wired and wireless home security cameras. They were quite expensive back then. I think a decent setup was like $1,000 minimum, and I think it would give you like 4 cameras. If it might not even have been 4, it might have been 2. 4 cameras, we'll say, plus the DVR. That doesn't include all the wiring. If you wanted a wireless system with a DVR, it was way more expensive. Like we were talking upwards of like $2,500 back then. Those systems were expensive. Of course, there were no smartphones as we know them today, so you really had to have a DVR. You couldn't look at it from your phone. You could access it from your phone or any of those conveniences that we got accustomed to today. Now, these cameras that are out today, blow those cameras away. Blow them away. So, why you need a camera? Things happen. Unexpected things happen. And there's nothing better than to have audio, video evidence. Okay. Just think about Johnny Depp. And if I was a man with $100 million in the net worth, there's no flipping way that I would not have a camera in every friggin' room in my house and every house I owned. To me, that's just absurd. I mean, they're so inexpensive, it just makes no sense. You don't even have to be a multi-millionaire. Cameras are so cheap today and of high quality, it's a no-brainer. Protect yourself. So I'm going to give y'all a few options. And I'm going to talk about placement as well. Now, you need to know your local laws, because the laws differ from state to state. So I suggest you familiarize yourself with your particular state's laws. And we're talking, do your due diligence, people. I mean, this is a YouTube search. This isn't really hard. Some states allow you to have video but no audio. And if you have audio, you can't record audio unless you have consent of both parties. Some states are that strict. I live in North Carolina, however. North Carolina is not one such state. I need to consent. It's my house. I give my consent to record. I don't even have to tell you. Okay? Take advantage of that. But if you have legal concerns, I suggest you do your due diligence and research, and start with a Google search. Consult an attorney if you have significant investments that you're looking to protect. Also, I'm of the school of thought that even though states have, some peculiar laws, I would still rather have the audio video, and I'd let a judge tell me it's not admissible. I'd rather have it than not have it. And I want y'all to consider Johnny Depp. Had he had some cameras, she wouldn't be able to spin a narrative that he was attacking her instead of her attacking him. And if you've been watching the trial, it's obvious who the antagonist was in that relationship. But if he had some cameras, it wouldn't be an issue. And I always recommend, well, let me read this first. So, use of hidden cameras in your home or residence. In general, you are entitled to install a hidden surveillance camera in your home for purposes of safety or home security. Okay? The footage captured may be able to be used in court when protecting an individual, or when prosecuting, rather, an individual caught breaking the law within your home. However, some states do prohibit the use of hidden surveillance cameras that also capture audio. And then I just say that. This means that a surveillance camera tape with audio may not be able to be used in a court prosecution. States that do not allow you to capture audio without the person's express consent include Washington, Pennsylvania, Oregon, New Hampshire, Nevada, Montana, Massachusetts, Maryland, Louisiana, Illinois, Hawaii, Florida, Delaware, Connecticut, and California, right? So, this is assuming that it's a tape and you can't turn off the audio. That's audio and video. Okay? That's what this article is assuming. I'm going to show you some security cameras that you can share the video footage, or you can share the video and the audio. It's your choice. You do not have to do both depending on your law. So these cameras that I'm going to recommend, for the most part, work in those states as well. Okay? And I put a link down in the description for surveillance laws. I suggest you take a look at that article and get familiar with your state, with your state's laws. Okay. The rest of this conversation, I'm going to assume your state is like my state, North Carolina, where you can do both audio and video. It really doesn't matter. Because again, if Johnny had just a video, because he's in California, right, we would have been able to see what she was doing. She actually, I found it funny that, and I guess this is why, I'm really not clear on why the case is going on in Virginia. I'm assuming that's to get past that recorded audio, because if it was in California, that audio would not be admissible. Which I still got some questions, and I don't think it's neither here nor there at this point. But if I was his attorney and the audio was made in, I'll be questioning, where was this audio made? And a lot of it we know is made in California. That's not admissible based on California law, even though the court proceeding, I'm assuming they did a change of venue because of, Johnny's popularity in California or whatever, I guess, or that was something, so they moved it across country, I'm assuming. But that shouldn't change the evidentiary rules that's being allowed in court. I don't know. Let the legal minds discuss that. Also, we're talking about hidden cameras. So the first cameras I'm going to talk about are not hidden. They are visible. And I always recommend having a camera facing each door it enters into your residence. So your front door. So the camera would be set up typically in your living room, for example, facing your front door. Okay. And these cameras are wide angle cameras. So they're going to catch a lot, they're going to pretty much catch your whole living room. They're noticeable, but I wouldn't go out of my way to point them out to somebody in my house. And, I have one in my living room right now. I mean, people come in my living room, don't never even notice it. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's not obtrusive. And I will mention some hidden camera options as well. But we're talking about the Wyze Cam V3. This is perhaps my favorite security camera right now. Wyze is a company, W-Y-Z-E. It was founded by ex-Amazon employees. They left Amazon to start their own security company. And I've been watching this company for a few years now, since the beginning, when they first came on the market. This camera for a few years now has been the #1 selling camera on Amazon. Even though Amazon bought Ring and they sell their own security cameras, Wyze continues to be the #1 selling camera. Most of it is because of its cost, but also what you get for the money. You're going to get a high definition camera, 1080p. You're going to get night vision. You're going to get two-way audio. The night vision on the version 3 is outstanding. I mean, you could be in a pitch black room with all lights off and the camera sees perfectly in color. It doesn't even look like it's night vision like the version 1 used to. I've had all of the versions. The V3 is incredible. You can listen to the audio remotely. The app, the Wyze app, is very intuitive and very easy to use. You can access your camera from anywhere on the planet, as long as you have an internet connection on your phone. There are a lot of uses for this camera beyond home security, but that's the primary use. And what I like about this camera, it stores the information 2 ways. Well, 3 technically. So it automatically uploads to the cloud. You got a 14-day rolling cycle, which you can access the camera from the cloud free of charge. There's no monthly cost with this camera. These cameras are like under $40, the version 3. And that includes the cloud storage. I highly recommend adding a micro SD card to the back of every camera. You can get a 128 gig card for like $10. Do it. That's why I said around $40. The camera's really like between 30. It's like around $30, $35 normally. Add the extra $10 for the memory card. You're still under $50 per camera. And that way, let's say the cloud fails, the internet goes down, whatever, you're still recording to your SD card locally. Okay. You can also store videos on your phone as well. So that's 3 different storage modes. Okay. I love redundancy. Redundancy is a good thing. I know there's going to be some egghead that's going to, well, what if the electricity goes out? Well, you can do something like this. You can get you a power pack, and you go wire this into the camera. You know, just plug the USB camera into this. So if your power goes out, this will kick in, and it should last more than well enough for your electricity to come out, unless you're just in a total blackout for a couple of days. But why would you really need security footage in that scenario? But we're talking about safety, about protecting yourself. So again, you got one facing your front door. If you have a back door, or a kitchen sliding door going outside, put one in your kitchen. I did that for somebody recently. They have 3 doors that enter into their house. This young lady, actually. And so I put a camera facing her front door. It captures the whole front entry of her house, plus a large portion of her living room. The one in her kitchen captures the back door. And if somebody comes in through the garage door, it will capture that as well. I'm sorry, camera acting up. It'll capture that. Make sure mic is on. Yeah, okay, good. So it'll capture that as well. So I did that installation for a young lady who has 2 young daughters. She's divorced, so she doesn't, there's no men in the house. It's just her and her 2 teenage daughters. She wanted to be able to keep an eye on her daughters. Makes sense to me. So just happened to be having a conversation, and man, what do I need to do? I said, this is what I recommend you doing. And I can see this from anywhere you go. As long as you got your phone and some internet access. So there's a link in the description for the Wyze camera. The version 3. You want these cameras to be in your major access points and the high traffic areas in your house. So typically that's living rooms, kitchens, if you have a den where you congregate or have company, wherever you have company, that's where I would put a camera. Okay. That's me. And everybody's situation is unique, so I can't give a Swiss Army knife response that'll fit every situation. I would need to know your specific situation and layout of your house for me to give specific advice, or you have a unique situation. I remember it was a guy a few years ago, many years ago. He was having problems with an ex-girlfriend, and she would drive through the neighborhood and throw a brick at his windshield of his car. She had did it 5 times. Each time he reported it to the police told him there's nothing we can do. Again, it's always hard for a man to deal with domestic violence issues. Oh, well, you don't have any proof that it was her, even though I saw her car speeding off. Did you get the license plate? I mean, come on. They wouldn't even talk to the girl, So I had a conversation with me, and what it was, the way his house was like a corner lot. So his front door was facing one street, but his driveway was facing another street. So my recommendation to him was to put a camera on his garage facing his driveway. So that caught all of that. Put one on the front of the house, catch all of that front yard as well. So his solution for his particular issue was it was an outdoor issue. I still recommended, hey, man, you still need to get some cameras on the inside. So we always think security, cameras on the outside is going to protect you. But the reason why you want them on the inside, let's say somebody breaks into your house and they, the thieves are going to break into your house. They're going to look for easy things that they can grab. Jewelry, handguns, things like that, So let's say the guy breaks into your house. The alarm goes off. You're not home. They call you. They happen to get you. You say, hey, no, I'm not home. Now it's not a false alarm. So, well, you can't confirm whether it's a false alarm or not because you're not at home. So they're going to eventually send somebody. It's not a priority. So let's say they send somebody 15 minutes later, the police come through your neighborhood. It's a guy walking down the street carrying a PlayStation or whatever, is walking down the street, looks suspicious. The police ask the guy, hey, they just stop him and question him. He's not going to admit to having broken into your house. There's no proof that he was ever in your house. Even if your neighbor saw somebody coming out your house, hey, I saw a guy in a hoodie come out his house. There's still no proof, that the guy was actually in the house. I just saw him, your neighbor probably saw him coming out the front yard kind of thing. So if you got one of these cameras in your house, now we have evidence that this person was physically in the house, is breaking and entering. We have video evidence that this person was in the house. A lot of times, the way security systems work, and I'll explain more of this a little bit later on in this conversation in detail, why security systems really don't do nothing for you. But again, this is for $40. Over 90% of break-ins happen through the front door. This is why I'm telling you to face your camera at your front door. Those sliding screen doors would be the next point of entry. A thief can just throw a brick through the window. They can take a screwdriver and lift the door up off of its hinges. So even if you got a pipe, a lot of people like to put a pipe or a broomstick in the sliding door to keep it from opening. If you put a screwdriver in it, you can lift it up. And there are plenty of videos on YouTube. It's so fast. You'll be amazed how fast these criminals can gain entry into your house. But you want to have proof, because we're talking about prosecution. You want to have proof that the person was actually in your house. From a domestic violence standpoint, as I use Johnny Depp as an example, and that's what made me inspired. I had been thinking about doing this video before, but this is what really made me do it now. Listening to the Johnny Depp trial, I'm like, man, why doesn't this rich guy have camera system set up in his damn house? This would end all of this. Because he said, she said, and the woman is always at the advantage in most cases. If you saw the pictures, she didn't have no physical injuries. I'm not going to even get into the commentary on that case. Get some cameras, y'all. People living in apartments. You've probably been told by your lease or your landlord that you can't install a security system because they don't want anyone drilling into their walls, no nails or screws into their walls. So these cameras, you can install them without drilling anything. The easiest way to do it is to get a pack of command strips. I put the link in the description as well. This is the way to mount the camera on your wall without damaging the wall. Thus, that doesn't void your lease. I wouldn't even have the conversation with the landlord at that point. I wouldn't even tell him. because as long as you don't put a nail on a screw, you're not in violation of your lease. And also the Wyze camera, you can actually it's an expandable system, so you can do home monitoring with it if you decide to go. That's important to you. You can add sensors to your door, your windows, smoke detectors. You can do all of that stuff with the Wyze system, and it's an inexpensive system. So everything you can pretty much get from a security company like ADT or Vivint, CPI, you can get from Wyze right off of Amazon and install it yourself. It's so simple. And I put in the description what you need for a basic setup. You can always add stuff as you go. You may want to, hey, I'm gonna try this camera out. Then, hey, you know what? It'd be a good idea. And let me put some sensors on my door. Let me get a doorbell camera. Let me get a remote keyless entry system, so I can do all of that stuff as well. You can add all those options. And the Wyze system is so great because they have other products outside of home security. They also have home automation products. Every product I've ever got from them has been top notch and works flawlessly through that one app. Even the light bulbs, you want to have the automated light bulbs where you can dim your lights or change the color. The smart light bulbs, you can do that as well. It works with Echo. So if you have like Amazon Echo or Echo Dot or something, you can control everything by voice. It's fully compatible with that. You can arm and disarm your system. You can do so much. I highly recommend this system. And if you have questions, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with anybody. As I just mentioned, you can optionally do the doorbell. I think the doorbell is a good idea as well, because that catches people walking up to your house, whether you're home or not. And again, if you're in an apartment, you can still do it with this system. It's very easy to do. And there are plenty of youth, and it's a great community of people that believe in this product and support this product. So you don't even have to rely on customer service, which is excellent. You can go right to Facebook, ask a question in a group. You probably get 100 answers. Explain your scenario. You get 100 different answers on how to fix your problem. These people are great that are active in this community. So the video doorbell is great. They do have an outdoor system. So if I don't really recommend outdoor cameras just for the sake of having them. It really would depend on your specific situation. Like the guy whose girlfriend was breaking his car window, he needed an outdoor camera to mount onto his garage the way his setup was. His garage didn't have like an overhang. If it had an overhang, he could have used a regular camera. He wouldn't have had to, spend a little bit of extra money to get the outdoor camera. But yeah, there are different options for different scenarios. But the outdoor cameras are available. They're all wireless. All you gotta do is be able to plug it in. As far as the indoor cameras, the outdoor cameras, you pretty much mount those anywhere, because they run off of batteries. In addition to the cameras, I recommend, ladies and men, have a doorstop. I put a link for one, master lock, security bar. It's like less than $30. You prop it up under your door and it stops somebody from forcing your door open and kicking your door in. That's a great tool to have. I recommend getting that. Ladies and gentlemen, men, stop trying to be too proud. Like you don't need no extra security. If you're asleep, you can't protect yourself. If you're asleep. So protect yourself at all times. If you have a sliding door, there's actually a special lock that you put in your sliding door. It is designed so that way the person can't use the screwdriver and lift it off the hinges. It prevents the door from going up off the hinges. That's like $25, I think. And again, if you're a homeowner, this is like no-brainer stuff. This is no-brainer. I wouldn't necessarily do this in an apartment. Because you need to hire, if you're not handy, you're gonna need to hire a locksmith to put that piece in. But in an apartment complex may not allow you to do that. So there are other options, depending on what kind of doors you have. Again, I would need to know your situation. In addition to working for Radio Shack, I also worked for CPI Security, which is headquartered here in Charlotte. We operated in 5 states. I was certified to sell security systems and design security systems in 5 states. Was it 5? North Carolina, South Carolina, parts of Georgia, parts of Tennessee, and parts of Virginia. Yeah, 5. They may have expanded. I haven't worked for them in a few years. I retired after I had my stroke. So, but at that time, it was 5 states that I was certified in. Everybody's situation is unique. Houses are shaped uniquely. People have different wants. HOAs are things you need to worry about, especially with exterior cameras. You got to be careful. Depending on how close you are to your neighbors, because your camera can't be able to view somebody's inside of somebody's bedroom kind of thing. And again, that's something you would need to, in addition to your local state laws, you might want to check with your HOA if you're thinking about an exterior camera. There's no way to prevent break-ins or domestic violence 100%. I'm thinking about protecting your rights after. Let's assume this thing happens. Again, you wind up in court and you have no evidence. She hit me. She's going to say you hit her. It's he said, she said. Who's more believable? That kind of thing. Everybody doesn't have money to go to court and fight in domestic violence and fight that. And domestic violence court is not like what you see on TV here. This is TV court we watching with this case. They let a lot of things go. Domestic violence court, they might got 100 cases they got to hear that day. They getting right to the facts. Matter of fact, you got evidence, let's see it. Boom, boom, boom. And you ain't going to be able to ramble on and explain. It ain't going to work like that. And even if you got some kind of evidence, the judge may not believe it anyway. Audio video is the best. And I'm speaking from experience. I have another article in the description, and it'll say whether or not the prosecution or your attorney can use footage or any other evidence, for that matter, rest on whether it's admissible. An important test of whether evidence is admissible is whether it is relevant. And there's a link to the article You can read the whole article yourself. I recommend doing that. But again, I'd rather have it. So even if it becomes not admissible later, I still rather have it than not have it. Security devices and apps helping domestic violence victims. Domestic violence is a huge problem in the United States. In fact, according to National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men will be victims of severe physical violence by an intimate partner at some point in their lifetime. On top of that, domestic violence doesn't just stop at physical abuse. And that's what Amber Heard is claiming. Oh, Johnny was harassing me. He was verbally abusing me, you know. All of that kind of stuff. These cameras will help with that kind of stuff. Protect yourself. Again, rather have it than not have it. You just don't know. You could be with somebody a short period of time, long period of time. You don't know what's going on in somebody's mind. And a lot of times, men particularly don't even realize they're being abused. You know, because you tell yourself, oh, I'm strong. I'm a man. And she ain't whooping my ass. But physical violence is only part of it. There's verbal. There's parental. She's berating you in front of your children. She's antagonizing you. She may even be stealing from you while you're not looking. So these cameras help with a variety of situations. Now, I've talked about the Wyze cam, which I highly recommend. I swear by them. And again, that's based on 21 years of experience operating professionally in this realm of security, home security. Okay. There are also hidden cameras as well. Spy cameras, hidden cameras, same thing. And this is all about protecting yourself and protecting your safe space and your property. They got cameras that are shaped all kind of ways, and you would never know it was a freaking camera in the room. They got a camera that's shaped like an alarm clock. Got a camera that's shaped like a USB charger, and it actually charges your phone. You can plug it into an outlet, but it's a camera. A smoke detector, a wall clock, tiny little mini little, just the size of your fingernail. You got to put those anywhere. They got all kind of cameras there, all price points. I would say from $25 and up. And these cameras are extremely high quality. I mean, think about the camera on your cell phone, right? It's a little tiny pin right there. That's your camera, little tiny thing. But you know how good your videos come out. Well, that's what we're talking about. So all they're doing is taking that camera out of your phone and making it wireless. And again, you could put them anywhere. And they have features like they're motion activated. So you put it in a room and it's not going to record unless it senses activity in that room. They have the night vision and everything else. 1080p, all kind of options. All kind of options. And with the spy cameras, I always recommend, like, especially if you're on Amazon searching for them, you see one you like, copy and paste the description of the camera into YouTube and see. I'm getting more than likely there's going to be somebody who's reviewed that product before and see what they think of it. And they may say, hey, don't get this one, but get this one instead. You know, that kind of thing. I've listed a couple examples of the hidden cameras for you. And I'm not recommending them. I'm just showing you what's available. The Wyze camera I recommend. Now let's talk about drivers. A lot of you drive for Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Uber Eats, or you're just a regular driver. Again, cameras are too cheap. So the first kind of camera I recommend everybody with a car has is a dash cam. Okay, I put a link in the description of an example of one. Dash cams, it goes right on your dashboard. You don't even, you know, once you put it in, you forget about it. It plugs into your car charger or a USB, and you know, whatever, however you got it in your car, and it'll capture all the images that you see as you're driving. So if somebody jumps out of you or somebody hits you, cuts you off, and makes you crash, you got it recorded. And it goes on a loop. So usually, I mean, you can set the loop for however long you want. Usually it's like 5-minute loops. So it'll record for 5 minutes, and then the next video is 5 minutes, next video is 5 minutes. And once it runs out of space, it starts recording over the last video. So you always have that. It'll record your GPS, so where you were located. They have night vision. They're 1080p, wide angle. These things you can get. I've seen them as cheap as $50. I saw one at Walmart for like $50, like in the ad seen on TV section of Walmart. Or you know, you can go all the way up. I mean, the price goes up from there, and some give you additional features. The more you spend, I recommend spending about $100 on a dash cam. I think that's the one I recommended. And I recommended the one I recommended because not only does it record the front of your car, it also records the back of your car as well. So you got two videos going on simultaneously while you're driving. What's going on in front of you and what's going on behind you. So it's not a rear backup cam. While you're driving, it's recording the people behind you. So if somebody slams in the back of you, you got that on video. Okay. I put a wireless hidden cam in under the vehicle section as well. And that's meant to go on the inside of your car. And I was thinking, like in law enforcement situations, you see these videos all the time. The cops come over to your car and they start asking a bunch of dumbass questions or trying to get you to violate your rights. And you're not always able to record with your phone. So this thing is going to record everything that's going on in the immediate vicinity of where you're sitting in your driver's seat. So everything that's going on the inside of your car, and it'll catch a cop coming up to your window, and you'll be able to hear that comment and record that conversation as well. Again, I'd rather have that than not have it. Also, domestic violence happens in cars as well. You're driving, she starts poking you in your face and smacking you and mushing you. I highly recommend you tell her, you put a stop to that shit right there. You're driving, and then because a lot of times women want to have leverage over you. So then while you're driving, that's when they want to F with you. So you stop it right there. Look, don't put your hands on me. I'm going to pull this car over and I'm going to put you out. You make sure that's clearly recorded. I'm going to put you out. And she put her hands on you again because she's going to test you. You ain't going to do shit. Pull the car over. I don't give a shit if you're on the highway. Pull over, drag her ass out that car, and pull off. Because see, that's how domestic violence starts. They test you to see what you're going to do. And if you don't do nothing or you don't do what you say you're going to do, it's going to escalate and it's going to get worse. Protect yourself at all times. Also put a body cam. Now, if you're a security guard, I'm not talking to security guards or law enforcement people. y'all in a different category. You guys can also buy your own body cams. Right around $100, you can get very good ones. If you're a security guard and your company doesn't supply you with a body cam, I recommend you get your own. And they make them rugged, the same ones the cops use. Get them. A lot of times the police departments, they order this shit on Amazon anyway. Get you one. Okay? Have your body cam. But for regular everyday people, I'm recommending you get one too because they're inexpensive. $100 is not a lot. So I recommend the Bob Love C18. That's the Y, not the C19. Make sure it's the C18 because the C19 don't have Wi-Fi. So the Wi-Fi allows you to access your camera from your phone. So it's a body cam. It's very, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. See if I can. Okay. Where is mine? All right, I can't find mine at the moment, but I have the C18 by Bob Love. I recommend it. It's very lightweight, high quality. The videos are easy to transfer right. They're on your phone. You just download them to your phone. You can clip it on. Just push one button. You can put it in your pocket. There's a lot of different mounting options. Put it in your pocket. You're at the grocery store, something jumps off. Just hit the button. It starts recording everything. How many times have you had customer service issues or, God forbid, some kind of physical altercation? You know, you're witnessing or whatever. Boom. You could do that faster. You could put out a cell phone, right? Also, if you're in your car, you can clip it to your visor. Right? You just clip it right above your visor. And if you need to record something, hit the button. And that records, same thing, 5-minute intervals. And it'll record everything 5 minutes in loop. Okay? That's a good option. Lastly, why I don't recommend home security companies, right? I'm talking to homeowners now. Because most home security companies can't access your cameras. Okay. Last time I checked, ADT did not offer that option. Vivint didn't offer that option, and many others, the popular ones. The only company I've ever known that can access your camera is CPI Security. Why is that important? Somebody breaks into your house, the alarm goes off, or motion is detected while the alarm was on, and the monitoring company, CPI, will come on, they can view your cameras, and now they see somebody walking around your camera going through your stuff. CPI Security, identify yourself. So why is that important? When they call the police, they're going to tell the police we have an active break-in and be able to give the description of what they see as the police are en route to your home. They're going to come right away in that scenario. Now, if the dispatch, the monitoring company, normally what would happen, your alarm goes off. 98% of alarms that go off are false alarms. Police don't even respond right away, if at all. I'll tell a story. I was working for CPI. A guy lived in Charlotte, lived in the university area in Charlotte. And he called and he told me his situation. Somebody had stole a handgun out of his house. They broke in through the front door, went out the back door, hopped the fence, and walked down the street. The police never caught the only reason they did catch him. One of the neighbors saw the guy hop the fence and was able to give a description. And what the guy was wearing was unique. He had some kind of graphic print on his hoodie, which they were able to identify. Yeah, that's the guy. Or the guy was 5'5", wearing a red hoodie with a logo on the back and blue jeans. So the guy was concerned. Well, I got ADT. How come ADT didn't handle this for me? And so he was on his way back. He was a businessman, so he was on a plane when this break-in happened. So they couldn't reach him by telephone. So when the break-in happened, his alarm went off. And that tells me that. That's why I tell y'all a lot of times when y'all going out of town, leave your car at home. Take an Uber to the airport. So this guy was probably casing the house, had probably been walking the neighborhood and realized, nobody's been home in a couple of days here. So he felt comfortable breaking into the front door, which he did. And he found a handgun and some other little stuff. So the alarm went off. They tried to call the guy to confirm that there was a break-in at the house. And it wasn't a false alarm, basically. The guy didn't answer his phone. And he was a single guy. It was nobody else for them to call. He was the only point of contact. So ADT called the police and said, we have an alarm triggered at this address. Sometimes the dispatcher will ask, well, isn't an active break-in. They can't confirm it. They have no way of confirming it, especially if they did not talk to the homeowner. So they're not going to treat that with a high priority. It's the middle of rush hour, so it's like 5 o'clock, university area. They're not sending a cop out, and they fight through all that traffic to get over there to discover it is a false alarm. That's not what they're going to do. So he immediately canceled his ADT, and he asked us, well, what did we do differently? And I explained to him, well, we would have had a camera by your door. We would have recommended you had camera by all your doors. So, but at least by your front door, that catches your main, the main part of your house. So we would immediately come on and said, CPI security, identify yourself. That would have scared the guy off. We would have had the description of him. We would have reported that to the police. And it's a different priority. Again, we have an active break-in right now. They're coming right away. That's 911. They're coming right away. That's the difference. So if you're going to get a home security system, whoever company you go with, you make sure that they have that capability to view cameras in the event of alarm trigger. You make sure. Otherwise, you're just wasting money. You just got cameras you can look at on your phone every now and then, and that kind of thing. And even then, let's say, we're going to send a video footage to the police. We're going to, CPI rather, not me. I don't work for them anymore, but CPI can send the video footage to the police. But what happens when you need to get that video footage to your insurance company to get that door repaired or get any other damages repaired from your homeowner's insurance? You're going to have a little tough time getting that footage from the police or from the security company for that purpose. This is where having that SD card or having it available on your phone comes in handy. I'll give you a personal story. My neighbor, I had cameras on my outside of my house a few years back, and one was on my porch, one was on my facing my driveway, under my carport. And the cameras are so good, it caught my neighbor's yard on the adjacent to me on the opposite side of the street. So I usually put my kids on the school bus around 7:30. So this particular morning, after I put the kids on the school bus, I realized my neighbor is talking to the police. So I just happened to walk by and I said, man, is everything okay? And the cop said, well, no, somebody broke in to this guy's van. He had a work truck. He did construction, bunch of tools in it, expensive tools. And they broke into his van the night before. He asked me, did I happen to see anything? I said, no, I didn't see anything. That street was very, very dark at night. So I said, no, well, I tell you what, I didn't have my phone on me. I said, let me go get my phone and I'm going to check and see if my cameras picked up anything. And sure enough, they did. I was able to give the police a copy of the video. So now we got a time. Because the cop was being ready to write the report, like he didn't believe the guy. Because a lot of people do insurance fraud. They pretend that something got stolen out their vehicle, and the insurance company, you try to get them to pay a claim. That wasn't my neighbor's case. He actually had a break-in. So I was able to give him the cop the video, and I sent it to the neighbor as well. So now we got a time, we got a description of the vehicle. Couldn't get the license plate because they parked past the house and it was out of the field of view of the camera, but we were able to see what kind of vehicle it was. It was a light-colored Lincoln Navigator. The reason we know it was light-colored because at that time, that was a version 1 camera I had way back then. The light colors show up white on the camera, on the night vision. The new cameras would show the color of the vehicle. That old camera didn't show the color. It would show it as a light vehicle would appear white or gray. And we saw the guys get out, break into the van, load the stuff, load whatever he stole into the Navigator and pull off. Of course, they weren't able to catch whoever the criminal was, but at least he was able to file his insurance claim. Just because I just happened to be paying attention to what was going on, I happened to have them cameras up. And I recommended to my neighbor, I said, hey, man, I can do a security system for you. Same thing, information I'm giving y'all. Like, I highly recommend you do this, man, because if you had a camera on the front of your porch, you would have got a description of everything based on the angle. You would have had a better angle. I didn't put my cameras up to cover your yard. I put my cameras up to cover my yard, Protect yourself at all times. You never know what's going to happen. I think that's it. I put links in the description, to give y'all. And if you got any specific questions, feel free to DM me, and I'll address those questions for you all the best I can, or try to help you out. But that's all I got, man. Protect yourself at all times, at all times. But it's your boy, V. Ben Israel. I'm the People's Champ. Like, subscribe, and share. It's your boy.